Good morning, guys. Dr. Hall again. So it's Friday, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break from curriculum instruction and talk about something else that's really important to getting the most bang for your buck in the classroom. And so I know I keep referring to it, but I just love this book, Engaging Students with Poverty in Mind. And so, and I think it's because it just reaffirmed for me what I was doing in the classroom and what I thought was right. And so, a big part of your success in the classroom is going to be relationships with students. And here's where it's a little tricky for me. So my relationship with students and your relationship with students can look very different, and we can still get the same results. And so you guys know me, I very much am a huggy, lovey person. I tell the kids they're my kids. I tell them they're my babies. I really try to get them to understand how much I really love and care for them, and I do that in a mom role. And so you'll see me hugging them. You'll hear kids say, Mama Hall, my mom, I'm her adopted son. And of course, that's just how I operate. It doesn't work for everyone. But I do that because I really want the kids to understand that they know how much I love my own boys. Anybody who knows me knows that they're my number one priority. And I want those students to know that I feel the same way about them. And so this book talks a little bit about that, making sure that you establish that family atmosphere in the classroom and really a community atmosphere. When you do that, you won't have just, again, it comes back, I'm 5'1", I'm little, and I really had no discipline problems as a high school teacher because I promise you, if somebody did something in my class, I usually didn't even have to handle it. My kids would handle it for me because they would make if a student wasn't doing what he's supposed to, they made him feel uncomfortable. I didn't have to say anything. Because I built that community in the classroom. And so in this book, it talks about how there's a strong effect size, a 0.72, with student to teacher relationships are in the top 10 of all student achievement factors, and group cohesion and peer influences have a strong 0.53 effect size. So what does that mean? Basically, it means if you can get that family atmosphere, you're going to get results. So I'm about being a database person. There's things like we have this intuition, but you can't work off of intuition. But most of us who have intuition can actually be supported by research. And so that's what this is. So there are things that I did in the classroom that, instruction, my kids knew. Don't play with my instruction now. Don't come to me and say, Miss So-and-so needs me for XYZ. I'm going there. No, you're not, because this is my instructional time. They're going to have to take you during another time, not mine. But there were times that I felt that it was more important at that time to give up some instructional time to do things like homecoming. Homecoming for me was a big deal in any school I've been in because I want the kids to feel that community and as part of something and collaborate and be cooperative with others and have a goal in mind and get there together. And so that was just a couple of the things that I focused on. And so let me think of some other things. Oh, it talks about adopting the parent role in the class, and that's really what I did. And I really try to encourage the communication with the parents. So I sent to you all by email the FISH form. So FISH stands for Family Involvement Starts Here. And I did this with seniors in high school, guys. So it goes from any age. I stole it from some elementary teacher a long time ago. In the beginning of that FISH form, it says, your child is a STAR student, a student taking academic responsibility, right? And here's what we studied this unit. And I would list what we studied. And then I say, you, the parent, have a discussion with your child, and then I want you to tell me what your child told you about what they learned. And you get amazing responses back from the parents, and you're starting that collaboration between you and the parent, but you're also making sure that the parent's informed about what their child is doing in class, because I promise you, my own kids, when I say, what'd you do today? Nothing. Now, I know that they didn't do nothing in class today. And so it gives them those tools to be able to have those conversations with their kids. Also, it talks about forming cooperative teams. I do love having kids. At the end of the day, these skills we're talking about are really important because I always told my students, it's great if you leave me academically sound, but if you don't leave me better people, then I have failed my job. Because at the end of the day, you can be as smart as you want to be, but if you can't work with other people, if you can't collaborate, if you can't problem solve, like in the real world, you're not going to be successful. So give them those opportunities in the class to do those things. Trying to think what else might be important out of here again. And also it talks about distributing awards and things like that. That was important to me. At the end of every semester, I played The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. It's a tradition at Carnegie Mellon. And what last tidbits would you leave kids? And so I always would do that with the students. And then I also gave them a most likely to be, and I kind of was funny. One was a serious most likely to be, and then one was humorous. So it lets the kids know that you pay attention to them every day. You know their personalities. And the kids all giggle and laugh about it. But that positive connection and being creative with the kids, being enthusiastic, will make it lowers their stress levels in the classroom, and then they want to perform. And so relationships are big. I think that most of you probably know I had that documentary filmed when I was at OW, and I ended up putting one of my favorite kids, not that I have favorites, but TJ up for expulsion. And you hear in that documentary him say, well, I repeat what he says. He looked at me and said, Dr. Hall, do what your head tells you, not your heart. And when kids have that much respect for you and they know that you're going to be consistent and fair and that they expect you to discipline them and handle them just like you'd handle any other kid, you've done your job. And so that's the goal, is to create that environment where they know you hold them to high expectations, you're fair and consistent with all children in the classroom, and you love them all the same, even though they're individuals. So I hope that's kind of a break from the curriculum, and we'll get back to that on Monday. But it's an important part of how to be able to deliver your curriculum. All right, have a great day.